Welcome to the third episode of the Transient Thoughts podcast. Today I'd like to talk about weight loss and the fact that I've been trying to do this for about 2 years now. Weight loss is not a simple journey. Now, I'm not excessively overweight. I'm about 40 pounds, maybe 30 pounds overweight, and I've lost about 10 pounds since I started about 2.5 months ago. It was a little harder at the beginning because I was trying to change my overall eating habits, and in the process, I've realized how little money I have, and I've had to make even bigger adjustments. And so I was kind of posting this on Facebook, and I decided, you know what, maybe I should just talk about it in the podcast. So, when weight loss is one thing if you're 10 pounds more than you want to be. It's another thing when you're 40 pounds over your healthy weight range like me. Now, there's something called proprioception. It comes into play during this whole change. It's essentially body awareness. You become more attentive to how you breathe, your hunger status, and even when isolating muscle groups for certain activities. It's a skill you have to train, and it can be trained, but it can also be beneficial if you're otherwise or easily distracted like me. So one thing I've begun to realize about this whole weight loss transition is that you have to be aware of what makes you hungry after eating and what satisfies you for hours on end. So for me, it's generally dairy products. Proteins and fats are more satisfying than carbohydrates, and carbohydrates start being digested in your mouth, whereas fats and proteins are digested in the stomach, in the gut. And so when you eat something that has a ton of carbs or is mostly purely carbs, you're going to break all that down and you're going to absorb it, and you're not really going to have any fullness because that's where that all comes from, is in your stomach. Your fullness sensations in your tummy. Although carbs are healthy, they are the quick energy. It's good to be eating carbs while you're on the go. It's good to eat fats and proteins during breakfast. So that's why I typically eat like whole fat cottage cheese, whole milk when I get up in the morning. And I even occasionally, like this morning, I got like a half of a serving size of sharp cheddar cheese just to help fill me up. And what I realized through proprioception is that I am less hungry after I eat these things. Look at fiber. Fiber is big when it comes to, salads and fruits and vegetables and stuff because it's carbohydrate. It's just that we can't break that down. Well, I've had big old salads that are delicious, throw some olive oil on there, put little eggs in there. But after about 2 hours, I'm famished. I just need more food. And although there's not a whole lot of calories overall in that salad, it's mostly coming from the eggs and the olive oil, I am still absolutely fucking starving. And I realized at that point, it's like, okay, well, I need to have more fats and proteins in my life and also incorporate more fiber as well. So I'm still working on trying to find that happy medium, that Goldilocks zone of fats, proteins, fibers, and carbohydrates. Now, the reason I chose dairy is because it typically has all three of those. It's generally more carbohydrate heavy, but that's kind of okay. I mean, you typically need more carbohydrates than you need anything else, unless you're on the keto diet. And diets are an entirely different monster. If you want to choose a certain diet and you just want to go for it and it's working for you, that's fantastic. If you want to be paleo, if you want to be Atkins, if you want keto, whatever, fantastic. But the thing is that most people are not going to be able to succeed at this because, again, it is a lifestyle change. You aren't doing this for 2 months. You're doing this for life. And you're trying to change a habit that you've been doing for who knows how long, most of your life, obviously. And you're trying to do it to where you're going to an extreme, where you're cutting off a large percentage of your daily caloric intake. And ultimately, the one math problem that everybody has to deal with in adulthood is calories in, calories out.